Hello and welcome to Eurosport. My name is Mark Siegel. We are at the final of the Downhill World Cup here in Le in France, just about an hour's drive from Genève. It's the final round, the fifth round of the World Cup this season. Only 5 rounds. We had 8 rounds last season. And as you can see, conditions beautiful for the downhillers. Of course here, it's 2.3 kilometers long. It drops by about 19.4%. There you see the standings at the moment. Anne-Caroline Chasson only 62 points ahead of Sabrina Jounier in the standings. So she could lose this, amazingly enough, as we see the silver medalist from the World Championships, Ffion Griffiths, coming down this brutal track here in Le Ffion was brilliant at the World Championships a couple of weeks ago, taking that silver medal for the second year on the trot. Le a famous venue for racing here in France. And Ffion clearly having a very good season, currently lying in 5th spot in the World Cup. Former bronze medalist at the Junior World Championships and now 2 silver medals in the World Championships. Riding for Ancelotti, UK Zeal, her team she's been with since she's been on the world circuit. She actually qualified in 7th spot in the semis with a time of 4:31.53, and she's going a lot quicker than that now. The British rider goes into 1st spot with a time of 4:12.64. That's a very, very good time. 9.81 seconds faster than the previous fastest time. As we go back up to the top of the mountain with Sabrina Jounier, the rider currently in 2nd spot in the Tissot UCI Mountain Bike World Cup. Riding for Intense, Sabrina. Slightly disappointed with her World Championships result, only a 5th spot there. And she's quicker at the checkpoint by 1.64 seconds. Sabrina, who actually got a bronze medal at the 4-cross World Championships, the inaugural 4-cross World Championships. That made up for her slightly disappointing downhill result, but she's going quicker than Ffion Griffiths. That time to beat, 4:12.64. Sabrina was 2nd in qualifying this morning with a time of 4:17.72, and it looks like she's going to be quicker than that at the moment, but she's got to beat that time set by Ffion Griffiths. Sabrina equally adept at 4-cross, dual slalom and dual racing, and she's looking very fast at the moment. The Intense rider going very well indeed, coming down into the finish area now. This very steep finish area. I think she might beat the time set by Griffiths. Yes, she does. 3.56 seconds faster, 4:09.08, with just Anne-Caroline Chasson to come. So, the French woman who loves fast technical courses, wearing her dreads here with just one woman to come. The 10-time world champion, Anne-Caroline Chasson. 10 times world champion, and leading the World Cup by 62 points before the semis this morning. 72 points now. She has got to win here. Anne-Caroline Chasson at that checkpoint is 5.32 seconds faster. It looks like this very, very famous downhiller is going to take another win unless she has makes a huge mistake here in Le She's won here before, of course. She likes this course at Le equally adept like Jounier at jumping. Currently leading the 4-cross championships as well. Won here in 2000. Only just in front of Sabrina Jounier that time, just 0.66 of a second in front of Jounier, but she was much faster at that checkpoint, and it looks like Anne-Caroline Chasson is going to take yet another win, her 4th win of the season. What's the time going to be? 4:05.51, 3.5 seconds faster. So Anne-Caroline Chasson wraps up another World Cup. Absolutely brilliant. That's her 5th World Cup title for the world champion who won that World Championships just a couple of weeks ago. There you have confirmation of that result. Anne-Caroline Chasson 1st, Jounier 2nd, Griffiths 3rd, Mosley, the British rider, in 4th. Well done, Tracy. And Anne-Caroline Chasson saying, well, she's very, very happy, of course. She said since the World Championships, it's very difficult to get motivation for the World Cup. But she knows that she's had good results, and all season, and she wanted to do well for her parents who are here today. Very nice too. Well, we're moving into the final of the men's downhill here on Eurosport for the final round of the Downhill World Cup in the men's series. Now you have some of the start list: David Vasquez, Chris Kovarek, Steve Peat currently leading the World Cup, Nicolas Vullios. Wow, the best riders in the world. There's the standings at the moment. Steve Peat ahead of Cedric Gracier and Chris Kovarek. Going down the list, we have Oscar Say, Cyril Lagnier from France. Always a good hunting ground for the French here in Le Jay. In conditions like the women, absolutely perfect. As we go to the first rider we're going to see, Cedric Gracier, currently lying in second spot in the World Cup, as I said. Fourth at the World Championships a couple of weeks ago, the Volvo Cannondale rider. Fourth in the downhill worlds, that is. Brilliant rider, Cedric Gracier. So spectacular. Loves jumping. He actually got a silver medal in the four-cross World Championships, the inaugural four-cross World Championships, and he's 1.35 faster at that split point for Cedric Gracier. Cedric loves riding here in France. Only 11th in qualifying this morning with a time of 3:52.56, and he's going to beat that in the finals here now. Brilliant bike handler, lives on the edge somewhat. Second at Fort William in the first round of the World Cup this season, a second at Mont Saint Anne, and then the other results, he had a 7th at Maribor in Slovenia and a 6th in the last round at Telluride in America. But the Frenchman who won the Junior World Championships, he's never won the Senior World Championships, but he's going to beat the current Junior World Champion Sam Hill by 1.65 seconds, 3.42.83 for Cedric Gracier. Great run for him. Wow, I think he'll be happy with that, but there are lots of good riders to come though. Cedric Gracier will be sitting in the hot seat, and he won't be celebrating too early yet, the Volvo Cannondale rider. Just a slow-mo of the brilliant style of Cedric. We're going to take a short break. Join me after that. Welcome back to Eurosport with me, Mark Bicycle. We are now watching Fabien Barel on the men's downhill course here at Le Jay in France. Fabien now riding for Maxis MSC. Used to be a teammate of current leader of the World Cup, Steve Peat, on GT, Team GT, who spectacularly went boom and bust at the end of last season. Unfortunately, what a great team they were. But Fabien, a two-time World Cup winner, very disappointed at the Worlds a couple of weeks ago when spectacularly missed his start time for the semi-finals, for the qualifying race, and therefore was not allowed to race. So bad mistake there for Fabien, but very fast now for Fabien Barel. My goodness me. The man who was 9th fastest in qualifying this morning with a time of 3:51.79 is faster than the current occupant of the hot seat, Cedric Gracier. Another Frenchman, the Maxis rider, Fabien Barel. As I said, won a World Cup race last season. He's a two-time World Cup winner, but he won last season at Grouse Mountain. Best result was at the previous round, actually, this year. He got a second at Telluride, just over a 10th slower than Britain's Steve Peat. But Fabien looks like he might be taking the lead from Cedric Gracier. He is going to do that. The Frenchman is going to go into the lead by 4.22 seconds, 3:38.61 for Fabien. Great result for him. Make up for the disappointment of the World Championships. And yet another Frenchman into the hot seat. We do like sitting in the hot seat here in France. Great result for Fabien. super guy. Loves technical courses. And he loves racing in the US. So there's the current standings at the moment. Barrel, Gracia, the junior world champion, Sam Hill. What a great result that is for him at the moment as we go back to the top of the mountain. And Cesar Roja Vidal, the Spanish rider, riding for Global Racing. Good result in the semis this morning, 3:51.40 for Cesar. Best result he's ever had. As we see his intermediate time, 3:55 slower than Fabien Barrel. Best result he's had in a World Cup was 10th last season at Maribor. 8.41 behind Nicola Vullios that day. That best result, so he'll be hoping to get right into the top 10 here at Leger. Loves anything with two wheels, in fact loves anything with an engine and two wheels, loves motocross riding. He's actually still studying, so mechanical engineering I believe. He's either still studying or just finished, but he's not going to beat that time set by Barrel, but he might go into third. I thought he was going to go into second, but he goes into third. 3:42.99 for Cesar. Good result. So to Chris Kovarek, the man who won the first two rounds of the World Cup this season at Fort William in Scotland, the first round, and then again at Maribor. He's a big burly rider, known to his friends as Whack, and just going slightly out of really wide there. Chris Kovarek, he had a bit of a blip at mid-season. He had a crash at Mont-Saint-Anne in qualifying there, and subsequently turned. He actually got a 9th at Mont-Saint-Anne. He's slower at the intermediate mark by 4.74 seconds. I was going to say that Kovarek, who was 5th fastest in qualifying this morning with a 3:48.54, he was faster than Barrel, but Kovarek actually rode at Mont-Saint-Anne where he got a 9th spot. He rode there with a broken thumb, broken ribs and a bruised kidneys. So wow, he's one tough Australian, and he's a fast rider.
Let's see how he finishes the year. His split was
Chris Kovarek, big guy, tends to ride on the limit, and as you can see, really is hammering down now, but I doubt whether he's going to beat that time set by Barrel. And he's a long way down as he comes really wide there. Full spot for Kovarek, 3:43.47, 4.86 seconds slower for Chris Kovarek. He's disappointed with that. Started the season off so well, but his form has dipped somewhat. Hasn't quite made up for ever since he had that crash. And he's in fourth spot with Barrel, still there in first. Gracia second, Roja in third, Guardia Pascal in fifth, and Sam Hill, the junior world champion, in sixth. Can that man get a top 10? That would be brilliant if he could. Kovarek slightly disappointed with that result, I am sure. So we go to the top of the mountain and yet another Spanish rider, Oscar Saez Castani. Last season was his best World Cup season when he got 7th overall, and a fourth spot at Durango in the 4th round last season. Best this season, 5th at Mont-Saint-Anne. Cesar, sometimes he's really frustrating because he's so talented, yet he's inconsistent, and he's 2.65 slower than Barrel at that intermediate mark, but it's still a good time. His time in the qualies was 3:48.20 for the teammate, his teammate of course of Fabien Barrel, the man sitting in the hot seat at the moment, riding for the Maxis MSC team. Used to ride for Volvo Canazal, then Mountain Dew Specialized, then rode for the Specialized team for a couple of seasons with his good friend David Vasquez. And now, heavy landing there for Oscar Saez. Spanish rider, would dearly love to beat his best ever World Cup performance. Third that was at Stellenbosch, and he's really wild on that finish line, on that finish corner there. 3:43.22, 4th spot at the moment. Just came into that last bend really heavily, and there again, wow. Still a good run nonetheless. As we go up to the start of this course here, 2.3k, we have Mikel Pascal. The B1 rider, used to ride on that all-conquering Sun team. Wow, what a team they were. But he's been riding with B1. So this is his third season, in fact, for Mikel. 2 times he won World Cup races last season. First time when he won at Durango. Slightly lucky when he was one of the last of the riders to ride in the drive when the heavens opened, and Mikel went on to win that. So people were saying it was a bit of a lucky win, but he then went on to win at Les Inns in Switzerland, and that was not a lucky win. He was just over 3 seconds in front of the World Cup winner that last season, Greg Minnaar, but that was a great win. So 2 times Mikel Pascal has won a World Cup race. Can he make it 3 here? I don't know whether he'll be able to do that. He won't do. He's slower than Fabien Barel. Barel's time looking better and better now. 3:42.23. Second spot for Pascal. 3.62 seconds slower. Great run from the Frenchman, from the B1 rider. Superb time there for Mikel Pascal. Medalist at World Championships and a World Cup winner. We're taking a short break. Join me after that. Welcome back to the finals of the Mountain Bike World Cup, the Downhill World Cup. We are looking at the man who is a 10-time world champion, Nicolas Voulios, riding for Voulios Racing Team. So spectacularly, just look at his speed coming out of that start gate. Goodness me, the man who so spectacularly denied Steve Peat yet again a world title at in Kaprun a couple of weeks ago. Voulios winning his 7th senior world title, his 10th in total. He won 3 junior worlds there. Second in qualifying this morning. 2.7 seconds slower than Steve Peat, the man who was fastest. Voulios time 3:46.64. The time he's got to beat here, 3:38.61. That's the time set by Fabien Barel. Barel's intermediate split was 2:44.70. Voulios' time has got to be quicker than that. It's getting closer and closer, and he's slower. Whoa, 0.72 slower than Barel's time. This is looking good for Fabien. Nicolas hasn't won a World Cup race this season. He competed in the first 2 where he got 2 fourths, and then he had to have an operation on his on the little finger on his left hand, I believe it was, and didn't ride the next 2 World Cups, but came back to win that world title. And I don't think, well, he can make up 0.72 seconds on this bottom half of the course, and usually Nicolas knows, he gets time checks through down the course, and he knows how hard to push. A superlative rider. He's actually been talking about retirement. That would be tragic seeing him go. I mean, he's only 26 years old, but he's won practically everything. The 10-time world champion is coming into the finish now. He's going to be very tight indeed with Fabien Barel. Just a little wayward on that corner there, and 700 slower. Voulios is not going to win here in Le Jay. 3:38.68. The world champion is going to get a best of second at the moment, with just 1 rider to come down the mountain. The man who was fastest in qualifying, and who will want to beat the man in the hot seat at the moment, Fabien Barel. 3:38.61. Voulios in second, Pascal in third, Gracier in fourth. It's a French 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment, with a British rider to come down the mountain. Cool. The fastest man in the qualies this morning, Britain Steve Peat, the man who's won the last 2 World Cup races. His time in the qualies was 3:43.94. He was absolutely distraught when he got a silver medal at the World Championships a couple of weeks ago. If you saw it on Eurosport, the man who has got 3 silver medals at Worlds was beyond, well, you just couldn't say anything to him really. It was so close there, just over half a second slower than he was than Voulios at the Worlds. So Steve will be hoping to make up for that here. He is the current leader of the World Cup. He's won the last 2 World Cup races. He was second in the second round, had a blip, had a crash in the first round, and could only manage a 17th, but he's leading the World Cup and will dearly want to win this title. Coming up to the intermediate split, what's it going to be for Fabien? Such a character, and it's 900 slower for Steve Peat. Can he make that time up on the bottom of the course? Fabien will want to win this World Cup. Goodness me, it's getting tight. The big man from Sheffield wants to win the World Cup. I think he's going to do that. He had to beat Gracia and Kovarek to win the World Cup title. He wants to go out with a bang. He wants another win. This would be his third win if he could beat Burrell. But it's very, very tight indeed. The man who now rides for the Orange English team. And so proud they have done him this season. He's formed the team himself after his team GT folded at the end of last season, but the big man wearing the leader's jersey is going to be very tight. The time 3:38.61. What's he going to be with Britain? Steve Peat, is he going to do it? He's going to do it. 3:38.03. The British rider has won the World Cup. My goodness me. First place for Britain, Steve Peat, his third win of the season. He outs Fabien Burrell from the hot seat. What a race here in France. Goodness me, Burrell second, Williams third, Pascal fourth, Gracia fifth, Cesar Roja a best for him in sixth, Oscar Skay seventh, Chris Kovarek eighth. Wow, what a race.
There's one race I didn't win, but I'm happy to get this world title. It means a lot to me. I've been trying for a long time.
Je me vois justement à 7 dixièmes de la victoire, ça donne envie
that was
de
Steve Peat.
continuer,
This is
c'est clair, donc je vais
Nicolas
encore réfléchir
just
un
saying
petit peu.
that 7/10 from victory, and he says he's going to continue, but well, who knows. But there you have the World Cup champion for 2002, Steve Peat. Gracia in second spot. Wow, and 4 Frenchmen in the top 5 here in Le Jet. Right, we move fast and furiously to the final of the women's 4-cross. We've got the world champion, Anne-Caroline Chasson, Sabrina Journier, number 2, Katrina Miller, the 2-time World Cup winner in the duel, and Anneke Beerten, the Dutch woman, the former BMX world champion, and it looks like Anne-Caroline Chasson going to the front of the race as she has done throughout this series. Steep circuit here in Le Jet. Journier in second at the moment, Miller in third. Looks processional at the moment, doesn't it? Oh, Miller trying to come back at Journier now. Journier, who has won 4-cross races before, and of course she was the silver medalist at the Worlds, but it looks like the world champion Anne-Caroline Chasson, world champion at downhill and 4-cross, is going to take the World Cup, the 4-cross World Cup title as well, with Sabrina Journier in second and Katrina Miller in third, with Anneke Beerten coming home in 4th spot. So another win for Anne-Caroline, who had that horrific crash in the 4th round at Telluride. So Chasson wins here. Journier second, Miller third, Beerten 4th. Anne-Caroline wins yet another World Cup race and yet another World Cup series. She takes the inaugural 4-cross World Cup series. Great riding from her. As we move in to the men's 4-cross. Wow. And the final, Bastabeaver, Brian Lopes, Michael Prokop, and Mike King. Bastabeaver, the odd man out here really. The two B1 riders on the left-hand side of your screen, with Brian Lopes, the World Cup world champion, just being edged out there. Look at that. This is very rare to see. Goodness me. Very rare indeed. And 2 riders going down. Mikey King, the Harrow Lee Dungaree riders. It looks like Bastabeaver, the B1 rider, has gone into the lead at the moment. Mike King trying to come back now. What a great ride from him. And it looks like Brian Lopes, the world champion, being edged out at the moment. But Bastabeaver, what a surprise this is. Never usually this good in a duel or a 4-cross race. But he is a former BMX world champion, so he knows how to ride this kind of race. Bastabeaver, the B1 rider, the 34-year-old rider, is going to take his 2nd World Cup win. He's won a downhill race before, and he's won here now. Oh, I think Bass is happy, isn't he? Oh, Mike King comes home in 2nd. And I think Michael Prokop came home in 3rd, with Brian Lopes in a 4th spot, and the world champion there. That's what put Lopesy out, but he didn't get a good start out of the gate, did he? Didn't at all. Mike King came back superbly there. So there you have confirmation that Bastabeaver first, King second, Lopes got 3rd actually, with Prokop 4th, and Wade Boots winning the consolation final. So a great win for Bass. Good on you, Bass. Nice to see. But Lopesy wins the title. Gracia 2nd, King 3rd. enjoyed the coverage of the downhill and four cross with me, Mark Biesiegel. We're having the cross country next.